So, where last we left off, our heroes, they were preparing to head into the Melody of Stars in an attempt to acquire the moon for Gilly, who had promised that in exchange she would sail the party north to the Rendarian Empire. Meanwhile, Tiernan had been tasked with finding Bluebell, who had a connection to his mother somehow. But while the others were off doing this, Miera and Rowan had stayed with Aloysius in the delirium. Waiting for their friends, Aloysius tried to convince Miera to travel with him and leave her new friends behind, much to the chagrin of Rowan. Unconvinced, even after Bex also tried to convince her, the matter was dropped. But Aloysius restated that the offer would always be there for her. The others then returned and shared their information, and after a quick costume change, the party headed for the Melody of Stars. Unlike the Hymn of Wine, the Melody was a court of melancholy and despair, with those attending reveling in the sadness. Still, music thrummed through the air, and the patrons still danced and swayed, a sea of black lace and swirling capes. Making their way through the crowds, our heroes arrived in the centre, finding two individuals sitting atop obsidian thrones, raised above the dance floor. One was small, clothed in darkness and stars to match the sky above them, her dark hair a cascade around her. The other, also garbed in black, had familiar-looking blue skin, and Tiernan very quickly recognised his own mother, sitting happily here beside the Queen of the Court. Rushing forward, Tiernan called to her, but was met by confusion, as it appears as if she didn't recognise her own son or even her own name. Beside her, the Queen of the Court smiled and referenced her as Bluebell. Distraught, Tiernan retreated just as Delgrim pushed his way forward, demanding a deal be struck for the moon, which hung above them in this strange place. The Queen, Lycerania, advised that no simple trinket would pay for something as precious as this, and with that, negotiations were entered. Alas, Delgrim's typical blunt approach caused issues, and as he attempted to demand that a song, one full of woe and sadness, would more than suffice as payment. The Queen had other ideas, however, concerned that the quality would not suffice from one such as Delgrim, and when Delgrim proceeded to insult the music currently playing in the melody, suddenly he found himself a lowly slug on the floor. Shocked, the party retreated, with Rowan quickly scooping up Delgrim and placing him in her pocket with her rock. Finding a quiet corner, our heroes took a moment to regroup. Tiernan, still obviously upset, sought guidance from Grumpfel on how to engage again with his mother, and after some wise words from the old gnome, managed to convince Bluebell to have a private conversation with him. There, in the darkened alcoves of the hymn, he told her of why he was looking for her and his father, who also went missing a number of years ago, in an attempt to jog her memory. Alas, she seemed oblivious that he was talking of her, leaving him forlorn as she wished him the best of luck in finding his family. Unsure of what to do next, our heroes decided to leave the melody to potentially find other avenues of help. Upon leaving, however, Delgrim reverted back into his normal form, and without hesitation, turned and headed straight back in again, despite the best efforts of the rest of the party to try and stop him. Storming through the crowds, determination etched into the Juragar's face, he confronted the Queen, catching her by surprise, and began to sing.
Gloom-born flow like blood through the crevice, the boulder choke behind. Narvalors lie still in shadowed dread, her final breaths enshrined. Yeah, yeah, her halls lie empty. Yeah, yeah, her streams are blind. Yeah, yeah, her veins unbroken. What evil did they find? The void lock broken, courage bled. Gloomborn fled, fate unkind. Narvalorge lies still in shadow dread, her final breaths enshrined, her final breaths enshrined. And Delgrim will sink to his knees with that last line.
The expression on the Queen's face as you push to the front of the crowd and begin to sing start off as one of anger. But as the words flow forth from you, the expression softens slightly, becoming a more of a quizzical look. And as you sink to your knees, that quizzical look changes and a slight smile starts to crease the corner of her mouth, slowly growing until it gets to an unsettling size. Once again, almost unnaturally too large for an individual who is the size of a gnome. She goes, this is very interesting. And as she says that, she stands and begins to walk down the steps to where you are, Delgrim, until she is standing in front of you. She puts one hand down under your chin and just raises your head so that you are looking up at her. Raw and heartfelt. You can feel the sadness flowing from these words. It's quite delightful. But I am not sure if it's fitting for my court. Her hand is still under your chin, and she reaches down with the other one to take one of your hands and actually starts to bring you to your feet.
It is very much your decision as to what is and is not fitting for your court. And for my earlier arrogance, I apologize. I would only ask if you feel as though I should be punished in some way. That you let my friends, the halflings, the Sverfneblin, the shard folk, the wizard, leave, and you can have my head. I offer this to you as the trade.
You get no say in what I will or will not take, Delgrim. But for now, a dance. And as she says that, in front of the rest of you, out of the crowd, which has come to pretty much a complete stop at this stage, individuals appear in front of each of you. They all match you in sort of appropriate height. So for Rowan and Miera, Rowan as
I was
well.
off to one. No, I was off to one side just to be
Yep, no,
reminding. Yeah.
no, even with Rowan, in front of you appears, so for you two, it is two gentlemen of about halfling size. For Tiernan and for B, um, it is individuals, both of them appear to be elven in nature. Tiernan in front of you a woman, B in front of you a man, and Grumpfel in front of you a gnomish appearing woman who almost reflects your own age. She is certainly much older than a number of the other patrons who appear to be in here.
Oh,
All of them,
a fellow spring chicken.
exactly. All of them are garbed in the finery of the melody. Almost in unison, they all reach out to take hands. And you can see all around you, almost unsettlingly so, people pairing up, taking hands, as if getting ready to sort of perform some sort of dance. I'm going to pause there to give people any opportunities that they wish here, as you all have these people extending a hand to take one of yours each.
Rowan's gonna look up at B with a lightly panicked look on her face. What?
To which
What?
B will look back at you, probably won't say anything, but give you like a reassuring look, because I've already danced in the last 24 to 48 hours. So,
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take this individual's hand and accept the dance.
Tiernan's just staring at the hand and tries to make eye contact with Grumpfel, and is watching to see how Grumpfel reacts, and will copy appropriately.
He's a maniac. No. Okay, yeah, no. Grumpfel takes a hand and goes straight into dance pleasantries, because even though he has 0 charisma modifiers, he is proficient in performance.
Outstanding.
Tiernan's going to copy.
And what about Miera?
Miera will just take a big deep breath, and if she's seen everyone else doing the same, we'll take person's breath hand, but mutter under her breath, I don't even know the steps.
You all take these individuals' hands. All of them are very attractive. All of them have got a look about them which, now that you are sort of looking at them a little bit more, it's like something's not quite right, but you can't pick it. You know, when you look at a picture, you're like, there's something about this which my brain is going, oh, like I said, is it a color weird? Is it something slightly off center? I don't know. And about all of these individuals, there is something of that nature. But as they all take your hands, all of the people in this space start to, in a very coordinated fashion, begin this dance.
World's worst flash mob.
Delgrim,
Mm.
Lacerania takes your hand, pulls you in close, very, very close, and says to you, I'm going to enjoy this. The rest of you, as your respective partners spin you into this dance, you lose sight of the rest of your companions. It's like everyone is moving. There is too much going on. And I would like everybody, except for Delgrim, to please switch off your headsets. You cannot
No.
hear the next part. Saz has got a sign all sorted out, which will show when you are ready to return.
Terrible waste of the ball gown to just tear off a strip and use that for the sign, though.
Look, I mean, I like to think it's just being resourceful. What you spit? Like, I'm not sure what is that. No, I'm not going to touch that one with the bark pole.
Oh, to drink. Could you not drink so deeply before we do this, please? I'm legitimately terrified.
Okay. Hey, Cass. Have you switched your headphones off? You're on mute.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
If I take my headphones off, it'll come through the speaker.
Just take your headphones down off.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll flash your sign up. Okay. Delgrim.
Yes.
Lacerania spins you into a dance, but as she does, a darkness falls around you. Normally, the darkness is your friend. You can see from all your years being deep underground in the shadow ways. But there is something about this which renders the shapes around you shadows within shadows. You don't know who is a friend, who is a foe, who is a member of this court. They're just these shapes which you see vaguely in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
As Lacerania says, you have returned to my court, and you have greatly offended me. But I like to think I'm a generous individual. And so I'm not just going to kill you. I'm going to offer you a deal.
This seems fair.
You seek the moon. And I also know that your other friend would like to have his mother back. I am more than happy to accommodate both of these in exchange for two things. Firstly, you and your friends shall go to the Lake of Lost Names and seek out the Tower of Skullthord and return to me the heart of the song. And when you give me the heart, you will give me a life, be it yours or one of your friends. I'm going to leave that up to you, Delgrim.
You said two things. Is this one thing or is this the two things?
I
Complete.
believe those are two things. I
Deal.
wish the heart, and I wish a life.
I will go to this Lake of Lost Names. I will retrieve for you Heart of Song from Tower of Skullthord. And I will give you Heart of Song and the life, as you have asked. For the freedom of my friend's mother and the moon. If this satisfies you, we have a deal.
She looks you dead in the eyes. if you try to double cross me or not meet my conditions in any way, and you blink, and instead of her standing there, you see another form. The individual standing there is a Duragar. One side of their head is caved in and caked with blood, and the eye has actually popped from the eye socket and is hanging partway down the cheek. One of the arms that you had, that you were holding, is now broken with the bone sticking through the flesh. As you now hold in your arms your friend, Balfar,
Yep.
his broken, twisted body in front of you. I will make your life a living hell. I will find each of your friends that you are here with now. I will make them suffer more than you can possibly imagine. I will hunt down everyone and everything that you care about and ruin it in front of your eyes. And when you beg for release, there will be no release for you. I want the heart of the song and the life of you or one of your friends that you are here with now, be it the two halflings, be it the drow or the shard folk or the gnome. One of them will die for me because, Delgrim, of your actions.
I am Delgrim Harrowfell. I am Gloomborn, and we do not play with words or make oaths lightly. And I accept this deal.
Excellent. Then we shall seal it with a kiss. And she is slightly shorter than you, but she reaches up and tilts your head down. And it is almost, there is almost something sweet about it until your lips touch.
Yeah.
And I need you to please make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Fine. Ooh, 10, 12.
12. Okay, cool. Thank you. Saz, can you get everybody else to come back, please? Oh, we've got a couple of people who have stepped away.
Or not looking at the screen, like fools.
Put it in the other chat, says the Weeby
Yeah,
Live.
I'm going to chuck something in there.
Just out of curiosity, how many limbs does Delgrim
Are we
still have at
allowed
this
back?
point?
Are we
Ah.
good?
Hey,
Yep.
yeah, look.
Yep.
Everything's fine and cool.
That's not a voice we like to hear. That is not the voice.
You're lying.
That is the Promi did a thing, and we're all gonna suffer now.
Excellent. I can't wait to learn the fucking outcome of whatever packed fucking shit you just made.
That's if he tells us.
Everything is
Oh.
awesome. Everything is cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the group, can you please all make performance checks for me?
I hate you, Hamish.
Ah,
And I
We can
say
roll
that
the
with
dice.
dice.
You'd
Whether or
say.
not we can make it is another.
say that with
Ooh.
love and respect, but fuck you.
Performance?
Not too bad.
23.
23,
15.
15. Grumpfel?
Alright. Daddy doesn't need 2 left shoes. Ooh.
29. he says,
20,
mate.
21.
21. B?
19.
Ooh. Miera?
16.
Wow. Wow. Go the party.
Right?
Amazing.
We've done dancing before.
Yes.
Right? I
That's like-
think we've got this down by now.
The 2 charisma casters are like, ah, yes, dancing. We remember how to do that.
Okay. You all find yourselves being guided through a fairly elaborate dance. The music is forlorn and fills you with a deep sense of melancholy as you are spun around the room, but all of you manage to, through good luck or good grace, follow the required steps, keeping up with these partners who guide you through it feels very choreographed, like everybody is moving in sync through this entire room. Anytime you glance towards where your friend Delgrim was, though, all you see is darkness. Even you, Rowan, which is very unusual. Normally your special sight cuts through even the darkest of spaces, but in this case there's just this strange sort of veil which is hiding him.
Can I ask a question? I can never remember how they work, and I'm sorry, Ham.
That's
The-
totally cool.
The weird head crystals, because I am fairly sure that Delgrim and myself and Grumpfel semi-permanently have them with spinning, not as cool
Yeah.
things. She just wants to try and use it to be like, is everybody all good? Like, she has lost everyone, which as a tiny person is terrifying.
So for those of you who have got the crystal in the shard form, you would hear Rowan's message and you would be able to reply.
Delgrim
Everyone?
won't risk doing so yet. Just in case.
Okay.
So there'd be no response from Delgrim.
Tiernan doesn't have it up.
Yeah, I was like, Tiernan's useless to me. But unfortunately, Rowan knows that. Like, in terms of responding, she's like terrified, but she's also like, he uses his weird armor thing. I'm not worried. Like, he's not helpful to me right now.
Yeah.
Whereas Grumpfel's like, copy there, good buddy, 10-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Miera
left,
doesn't have hers on
and
either,
left, and
Yeah, that's fine.
sidestep, and right, and sidestep, and shuffle back. And, oh god, this is like Mrs. Greystone's teaching.
Ah, my head has disappeared. Hold on. My green is being bizarre.
Kate's
Oh, no.
lost her hair.
Technology.
Tech, hang
The
on.
Feywild, it's a
Gonna-
weird place.
It
Sort
is.
this out while
Yeah.
you keep going.
No, you're all good. So, as you get spun and twirled through this dance, you find yourselves all back in the center of the room, near where these 2 thrones are. Tiernan, you can see your mother sitting up on top of the throne that she was on. And you can see she's enjoying the spectacle. There is a look of almost happiness on her face as she's watching the people dance and move. But almost simultaneously, as you all get to that spot where Delgrim was, you see the darkness drop. And you see Delgrim locked in a deep kiss with Lacerania. Before she pulls back, a smile on her face. What did I... That's right. Delgrim, can you please take 40 points of psychic damage?
Jesus, yeah, I can.
The sensation on your lips, Delgrim, is one of intense burning. It's almost like you could feel the blistering happening. The flesh actually just burning and melting in this situation. Before she suddenly pulls back, a smile on her face. She says, "A bargain is made." And she almost pushes you aside as if you're nothing. As she just then turns and walks back up to where her throne is. She turns and sits down, almost looking proud of herself, and goes, "You can leave now."
And Delgrim will begin to do that very thing, passing by Bluebell first.
She's up on the thing.
Is she on the thing
as well? Yeah.
Okay. In which case, he'll hold out a hand to her first.
She looks down at you and looks over at Lacerania. Lacerania just gives a little shrug. And Bluebell stands up, comes down the stairs, and takes your hand, kind of giving you a strange look.
A bargain was made. And he will, not forcibly by any means, but he'll begin to walk out of the court holding her hand, prompting her and encouraging her to follow.
She pulls back. Excuse me, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Delgrim's eyes will shift to Lacerania.
And she'll be sitting there smiling and says, "You haven't brought back what I asked for yet."
Very well. And choking down his irritability and the pain of 40 points of psychic damage,
How messed
he
up
will
this...
very calmly turn and walk out of this court.
You let go of Bluebell's hand, and she's like, you can see she looks visibly very confused as she sort of turns and slowly makes her way back up to the seat beside Lacerania and pops herself down. And Lacerania just reaches over and gives her a little pat on the hand and says, "It's all right, dear. It's all right. It's nothing to be worried about."
Tiernan's racing off after Delgrim.
You wouldn't need to race. He'll be heading out relatively slowly. He's not like
Yeah.
storming out or anything.
How beat up does Delgrim look?
Pretty beat up. He's hurting.
But is it obvious?
Yeah, but he's also being very Delgrim about it, and just kind of like squaring himself up and getting out of this scenario.
What's the rest of the group doing? You all following after Delgrim?
Grumpfel wants to heal some damage, but is wary of magic use in a court. Even though he's never been here before, he's treating it as if it was like a royal court, and you just don't go dropping magic in a royal court because you could have yourself being targeted by reactive offensive weapons or spells rather, or
Turn into a
weapons, spells,
slug,
whatever,
Pissed half to death, that kind of thing.
So yes, he's gonna scooch up behind Delgrim, and once we're out, then gonna help him.
Yeah, and coming out of the court, Ham, like the whole thing was you go in and you're in the court that you're thinking of, right? And then when you exit, you're in the, I guess, the neutral zone.
You're back outside on the outside of the courts themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. In which case, at that point, Delgrim will visibly slump and kind of lean against Grumpfel a little bit.
Before that happens, you all exit, and as you step out, it's a moment of just bright light as you find yourself standing, and it feels like it's probably the middle of the day. The sun is high in the sky, blazing down, and all of you, except for Delgrim, get hit with a wave of fatigue. You suddenly feel like that dance, which felt like it was maybe minutes, was significantly longer. Your feet scream in pain. Your legs ache and burn as you all take 2 points of exhaustion.
Holy shit, Hamish.
Wow.
We show that on our on DDB or not?
Yeah, you can under
Yeah.
conditions.
Conditions. There it is. Exhaustion.
I can fix that for 2 people.
And so Delgrim, just for reference there, considering what you were talking about, you would probably be able to see your friends as they emerge
Mm-hmm.
suddenly all look like they have just run like a marathon. And I will just point out that this is what happens when you roll well.
Okay, now.
Please note
Awesome.
that both Miera and Rowan can now only move 15 feet around. So we are not walking anywhere fast, folks, just for reference.
Delgrim will kind of look up to his traveling companions as they emerge from the court then. We should definitely all get some rest. This is not a kind place. And
What
I ask only
did
for
you
your
do?
forgiveness for the troubles I have caused.
Okay.
What
Now,
did you do, Delgrim?
I made a deal to get your mother out of there, Tiernan. We are to fetch something for that bitch queen. And then, if I have my way, we'll find a way to kill her. But first, we will go on small, tiny little adventure. But before any of that,
Well, I appreciate the help.
should
A little
rest.
bit of notice would have been nice. You are technically toying with my mother's life here.
it would have
Tiernan,
been
this
nice.
is not the time or place for this
Rowan?
conversation.
Rowan
No, this is
Delgrim
not the time
and
or
I are
place
having a
for this
conversation. I didn't ask
conversation.
for your input.
Again, I genuinely think it's very good time for rest. Everybody is tired. Everybody is cranky. Everybody has just experienced incredible amount of pain from Kiss, from crazy fairy queen. Let us take a breath, find place to sleep for 2 or 3 days, and then we can have discussions.
I didn't kiss anyone, but I'm really tired.
Shame we weren't all this chatty before we made a deal to do something.
Like I said, I appreciate the help, Delgrim. But please, please, she's my mother. A little bit more thought.
Rowan
go
start
into
like
it.
walking the group in the direction of where we're just gonna start walking away from the front. This conversation can keep happening, but I'm gonna start us walking.
Delgrim's with Rowan on
Yeah.
this.
Alright.
He'll be side by side.
We can
He's,
keep going
he's
with- with
absolutely
chat,
going to
just like-
dismiss what Tiernan's saying and sigh
Yeah.
so deeply and walk side by side with Rowan.
Like you guys can have that conversation, but I'm just like want to get us moving.
So just a question: how many years older are we all, Ham?
Hmm.
Speak
Be
for
about
yourself.
a week, just because that's how elven aging works, right? Like
So where are you guys heading?
Did-
I imagine.
yeah,
To
do
an
we
earth.
have lodging sorted? I don't recall if we actually ended up.
Yes, we did have lodgings, and they were really close nearby, if I recall.
Hmm. Perfect. So to be
Chat.
there, I guess.
You had a secured lodging at the outside inn.
All right, well, time to go inside the out.
So
Do we have anyone that can carry us upstairs?
you all make your way back
Yes, we
to
go
the inn.
upside the outside. Go
very,
upside.
very slowly. And it takes you significantly longer to get back, even though the inn was not actually that far away. And you make your way inside, and you see the various hobgoblins who run the establishment going about their day-to-day job. You see Pippi, who was the younger, the youngest one there, barely out of her teens. And she sees you all, and she goes, "Hi, hi again. I was starting to wonder if you were coming back or not. I think you rented your rooms for a few nights, and then you've been away for, I don't know, it's been about 4 or 5 days now, I think."
fair court. Enough said.
Oh yeah, look, that'll do it. Which court did you end up going to?
Horrible melody of stars.
Her usual very sort of rosy, friendly exterior sort of drops slightly, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, no, that can be not the best place to go to if you're not familiar with how things work. Look, do you want me to get you some food or some drink or something?"
Yes.
Well, look, absolutely buggered, to be honest.
I'd say exhausted about sums it up. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'll organize some food for you. We'll get you some drinks. And she sort of races off and starts getting some bits and pieces organized to leave you all to work out what you're doing next.
And sort of just collapses into the nearest chair.
It appears like once you've walked through the town a little bit, it looks like it's around about lunchtime. The tavern is comparatively quiet. There's a few people at a couple of tables, but it's not that busy.
All right, Delgrim, sit. And Grumpfel's gonna have a look at how beat up Delgrim looks.
It does look like he's been beat to about half of his total life. Yes.
I'm gonna try something new here.
No,
So,
no, Grumpfel, save your strength. It's fine. I will rest. I'll recover. For now, the best thing we can do, only thing we can do, is try and establish where the Lake of Lost Names is, which is where we will have to go for this woman.
Forget what?
The heart of this song.
The heart
Sounds
of
the heart of the song. It sounds very pretty. I have no doubt it is not.
Is it supposed to be a gem or an actual
Tiernan,
soul?
I do not know. I had no choice in this. If I was to say no, I feel very much I would not be standing before you now. I cannot guarantee that any of you would be standing before you now. And again, for this, I can only beg your forgiveness for putting you all in such danger.
You're also putting my mother in a lot of danger too, Delgrim. Never
She's
forget that.
already in danger, Tiernan.
At the start
Think-
of this moment, Rowan does a big sigh and heads upstairs to like clean herself up and get changed into comfortable clothes because this is not the outfit she wants to remain in after 4 days.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point.
She's
You guys
like,
are
she's
like, yeah,
had a big sigh, just like, I'm still in clothes that I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go put my comfies on.
Yes.
I think Delgrim's gonna attempt to wrap this by saying, Tiernan, think about how you feel after spending mere hours in there. We have apparently been gone for days. She's already in grave, terrible danger. If she is to emerge, possibly more so. But this is something we can discuss when her freedom is secured. And Delgrim will rise, turn his back on Tiernan, and hit the bed like a sack of absolute shit.
Probably gonna grab some food first.
okay.
Were we accommodation wise to a room, or were we a room each? Because I can't remember who my bunkie
think we
was.
were
If we were two to a room.
What was that? Sorry, Kay?
I think we were 2 to a room, but I
Yeah,
don't
right.
remember what. I don't think a determination was made about who was with whom, other than I would potentially recommend that Delgrim and Tiernan are not in the same room.
No,
anymore,
Tiernan had
even
his
if they
own
were
room.
previously.
Yeah.
Tiernan had his own.
The
Okay,
first rule of Radiant Shadows Club is we don't talk about Radiant Shadows Club.
So, there are still rooms available. That is all still sorted out. As a party, what are your guys' plans moving forward? You've got Rowan's gone to get changed. Delgrim's gone to go and sort of die quietly in a corner. Oh, I mean, rest flatly in the corner.
Oh dear, dear. Grumpfel will likes the idea of rest, but he also likes the idea of food, and he also likes the idea of getting changed. So there will be sort of tagging along to find food, a handful, a plateful, whatever, and then probably head up to the room to change and rest.
As
He
Delgrim,
he also wants to try and cut Delgrim off to try and give him some healing. I forget. You'll have to forgive me. I forget how the hit die healing over long rest thing works. And if it can heal 40 hit points, then holy shit, I'm playing in the wrong game. But yeah.
Short rest, you can choose a number of hit dice to roll based on your level. So you've got a hit dice per level. Every dice that you roll, you also get to add your constitution modifier to. Every long rest, you get half of the hit dice that you've spent back. Or alternatively, you can just long rest and you regain all of your hit points.
Rowan going up to start getting her stuff together and whatever is the light activity that she requires to start her long rest, by the way, because she doesn't sleep. So this is a going upstairs, sorting herself out. We'll come back down and get comfy sitting in an armchair in a corner of the tavern, such that everyone else can have space to themselves or not upstairs.
Oh, good.
Tiernan's just grabbing food and then crashing.
Miera will just be going to bed because she can feel that she's tired and cranky and doesn't want to deal with this shit right now. So she wants to go to bed.
Okay.
I think B would, knowing that she doesn't need the full 8 hours long rest and just the 4, would probably, despite being exhausted, would probably pull out this like lilac bound spell book where she's written down everything that she's learned from an arcane perspective. But like within there, every now and again, there's like random little, like almost diary entries or just like random notes about her travels, etc. And she would start kind of at the start and just spend the first 4 hours before she goes up to rest, flicking through and attempting to find anything that could help this ragtag group of people moving forward, transport wise, journey wise, just where we're going potentially. See if she can find anything.
Are you actively wanting to, like, is this you are searching for something and you're wanting to like roll to discover some information? Like, is this, or is this?
I think it's more stuff she already knows.
Yeah.
But being that like and you know, we have a thing for that, Hamish. And so I think it's like it's more like a rediscovery of the things she's already experienced. Is there anything she can pull from that she's previously gone through that is going to help the party journeying forward? So it's just like a reminder.
No, totally cool. So from a mechanical point of view, just to clarify here, it takes a long rest to recover 1 point of exhaustion. And you can long rest only once every 24 hours. So it will take you a minimum of 2 days to recover the exhaustion that you have currently suffered from. So, okay.
In Rowan's version of a long rest, because downtime equivalency, blah blah, can she try and find out from, let's say, local publican and anyone else at the bar who does seem to want to join in on that discussion, about, and I've just dropped out of my brain what Delgrim said the name of the place we were going to.
The Lake of Lost Names, ironically. Yeah.
Ironic. Yeah, I was like, it's something that's gonna be real ironic when I could. Yeah. Just to see if there's anyone who's heard of it, like in that pub chat kind of way.
Okay.
Does that make sense as to what I'm asking?
Yeah, for sure. So,
or also like, if no one knows, then like guidance to where someone who might know is, so that tomorrow I can go ask some nice questions in a polite little way.
So we'll turn this into a roll, to maybe represent, you know, you spending a few hours sort of talking to some people and stuff like that without delving into a whole bunch of RP for it. So can you make for me
cute little naive Rowan and her little naive ways.
you tell me what roll you want to make, and you tell me why you should make that roll. There you go.
I would say it is some combination of, and you can decide whether you want 2 dice and an average or what you'd like, of vaguely investigating, but also using the sort of like persuasively, I don't know anything, help me to help you thing. So I don't mind what you're calling for, but those are the sort of 2 vibes that I would take.
Make an Cool. That's sort of where I was angling as well. Make an investigation check for me first.
Natural 20.
Wow. Okay. But with your modifiers?
Investigation 22.
22.
But
okay,
nat
cool.
20, 22. Yeah.
Make a persuasion check for me as well.
Not as good. What number is that in tiny writing? That is a 17 plus 5 is also a 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It is the publican, Grazen, who you met briefly when you first came in here, who states that at some point he has heard mention of the name,
Mhm.
the Lake of Lost Names. He doesn't know where beyond the fact that it is somewhere in Fayfair, so the forest. He has an inkling that it's potentially north. And there are stories that, and he's heard this from people who have like come out of the court, because this is kind of the bar that people, this is where you go and preload before you go
Why
and
I figured I'd
the
ask you.
Fey nightclub.
Yeah.
He's heard rumors that it is a place where if the Fae have taken your name, you can potentially reclaim it. In regards to like exact locations and stuff, he's like,
No idea.
wouldn't have any idea. The best bet, and he would be very kind of like about this, would be to actually ask the Fae in the forest, because predominantly the Fae that you would encounter here in the city don't tend to go out into Fayfair. They are sort of the city-based individuals. So they're either in the city itself or they spend the majority of their time in the court.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Helpful.
Excellent.
She's gonna go back to her little her little big chair.
A little bit.
That she's
So there
found
are
and sort of sit and watch the world go by.
so there are effectively 2 days for you to be doing stuff if you're wanting to kind of kick around to wait for the exhaustion to wear off. That doesn't mean you can't go and explore in the city and do stuff, but just be conscious that if you do, this first day your speed is halved and you've got disadvantage on all your ability checks. The second day you'll have disadvantage on ability checks as well. So, with that in mind, what is the party's plan?
Delgrim, I think, after kind of sleeping through the first day, and feeling slightly less shit, would recommend doing some hard research, if possible, on this place and the specific things that were discussed. So, like Lost Names, Tower of Skullthorn, and the Heart of the Song. Does this place have some kind of like an actual library or anything of that nature that we might be able to use as a reference point separately to just asking random people?
So I believe Tiernan had actually made some inquiries about that when you first had arrived. No, there is no such sort of library or sort of information repository for this sort of thing.
Miera, I cannot believe these are the words that are going to come out of my mouth. Can you ask Aloysius if he knows about these places and perhaps can give us any kind of information on them?
Yeah, I can totally ask, I guess.
So on top of that, because I am a kind, generous, and benevolent and gentle dungeon
Sounds
master.
like bullshit, Hamish.
Lies, all
Yeah,
lies.
my eyebrows may have underlined what I thought of that sentence.
No, I felt that kindness in our secret little chat, like heaps.
Yeah. I will
Roll a
remind you.
d10, roll a d10, roll a d10.
I will remind you that a couple of you in the Hymn of Wine went and saw an individual called Nimbus, who was talked about as being someone who knew a lot about a lot.
Hey, before we go racing off to try to find out this Lake of Lost Names, I believe we're out of our depth a little bit when dealing with the Fae, and I believe we should probably speak to what did they call themselves? The Fae folk, or Tatiana was a member. They have a lot of dealings with the Fae, and we do not have this experience.
The fangirls, They're cosplayers. There's very little chance we get anything from them obvious.
I'm still going to target that thread.
Very well. I will talk to Nimbus so I do not have to speak with Aloysius. I don't know if you know this, Miera, but I really dislike that guy.
I have kind of picked up on that, but I will send him a message anyway because I like him.
If he can...
You don't Okay. Okay. All right. So, Mira, let's kick off with you first. I'm assuming you're sending a message, like using the sending spell.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Have I had my at least one long rest?
Yes, you can all click on the long rest button now.
Okay.
And I will be also changing over my armor to the shard.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Yes, that is always a good reminder for those of you who may have forgotten. Your dragon crystals have got the two forms. You can reattune to the other form if you wish to after a long rest.
For those of us who have them.
Wow, I was actually like, who are you talking? Oh, that's right. Whoops.
It's okay. I'll see myself out.
Okay. All right. Mira.
So I will say, hey, Aloysius, it's Miera. Do you happen to know anything about the Lake of Lost Names? How many have I got left?
How many words is it that you get all together?
25?
25. So you've got about 9 left.
Like location, what it is, you can respond.
Hearts mirror.
Or can I end it with be useful?
Oh.
Wow.
Nice.
What? Fucking yeah. Yeah.
Yum.
You just get like the reply as a frowny emoji. Let's have a think.
It's more shade than the forest we came through to get here.
The reply from Aloysius.
The number you contact is out of
Hey,
service.
Is the court on a different plane?
Sorry?
Is the court on a different plane?
Yes, but I can also send messages on different planes too.
Okay. Oh.
So, the reply is Mira, Lake of Lost Names. Heard it's north. Don't know much else. It's off. Twilight Road doesn't go north. Accords? Hope this is useful.
Okay. So north. Did he say it's off Twilight Road, but then Twilight Road doesn't go north? So did he contradict himself?
No, as in it's not on the road of
As in
safety
the road that we
to the
aren't supposed
forest.
to go
Road
off.
less traveled.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will obviously communicate that back. And I don't know if that Nimbus person you were speaking about might have more information, but
Is definitely worth a discussion. Hopefully, we can know more from them about this tower and what dangers might be encountered there, what trials and tests and other fey nonsense we might have to deal with.
Right.
Miera would like to shuffle off at some point to the shops too.
All right. So, what is the plan? Miera said that she's potentially wanting to go on a little bit of shopping trip.
I may accompany Miera on said shopping trip if possible.
Okay.
I'm looking for the Fey folk.
Okay, so for the fair folk, yep.
Fair folk.
Yep.
Delgrim with anyone who's keen to come for a little chat. We'll have a chat with Nimbus.
As someone who danced with Nimbus and rolled really fucking well, I will go with Delgrim to talk to Nimbus, hoping that my dance was good enough to get a second audience.
Woo. And what about Grumpfel? What's Grumpfel doing? And are we going to split the party in 5 different fucking directions?
Hey, it's in downtime.
Yeah.
What can possibly go wrong? Nothing.
I kid you not. I was going to jump in this before you started to ask others what they were doing. Grumpfel would like to find out from the barkeep if there is a temple of Kamateon nearby, because he has not been to a temple for a while, even just to walk amongst the fellow followers of Kamateon.
And I think I might have mentioned this last time, but as a reminder, yes, indeed there is. In fact, I think Gilly even pointed it out to you, Grumpfel, as she was aware, as she knows the one of the priests there, the Tree of Life and Loss. Is a temple to Kamateon. So,
Grumpfel may ask what the priest's name is, so you can make sure he's in the right place.
I mean, if like when you, for the sake of sort of speed and stuff, asking Grayson the barkeep, he's like he tells you where the temple is, and he's just like, you will not miss it. It is very apparent when you get there. He personally doesn't know. It's not a temple he attends, but he knows where it is. So with that, we've got Miera and Rowan going shopping. We've got Delgrim and B going to see Nimbus. Tiernan is going to go and try and hunt down some of the fair folk.
Be careful of little kids with nimble
Metaphorically.
fingers on your solo journey, please.
Thanks for reminding the GM there. Much appreciated.
And Grumpfel is going to the temple. So we'll start with the shopping first because I feel that may be the simplest. Miera, what is it that you are after?
I am after some shiny things.
Some shiny things.
Yes. Specifically, I'm looking for.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Grazen will tell you that there is a store in the city called Precious Things, which sells a variety of items, including things like precious stones, ancient artifacts, art items, that kind of thing. So if you are after like a well-crafted precious object, that is where you would go.
That's where I would like to go.
Okay. I am going to kind of try and bounce around a little bit to try and kind of keep the momentum going for everyone here a little bit. So I'm now going to jump across to Tiernan. So Tiernan, for you, one of the things, and again, I appreciate that it's been a while since we've played, so as a reminder. So with the outside in, the day that you spend resting, you would see a number of fair folk coming in and out of here because, as I said before, like this is the pre-bar before people generally kind of go into the courts. So there is a fairly sort of steady flow of fair folk coming in and out of this place.
Well, that means I won't have to travel very far.
Correct. So what is it that you're actually trying to accomplish?
I'm trying to basically, first off, check to see if Tatiana is in any of those groups for at least a point of someone to know. But I would like to share my story, but very abridged, and ask for advice on how to extricate someone from the Feywild.
From the Feywild?
Well, from one of the courts who I believe are under their spell.
Okay. All right. So what I will very similar to what we did with Rowan. Going to get you to make an investigation check first, basically to ascertain finding the right people, the right person, all that kind of stuff, and we'll go from there.
All right. Before I do so, if that's the intention, can I cast enhance ability?
Sure, 100%.
Yep. So that'll negate the disadvantage. Not that it's gonna matter. 7. Oh wait, investigation. Sorry, 10.
10. Okay.
Because I rolled a 2.
Wow. Nice. Excellent. Good dice. The one thing that you discover as you go around sort of asking some of these questions is that a lot of people, like sort of the way potentially you're going about it, sort of the conversations, people don't seem terribly receptive. No one mentions you don't see Tatiana at all. I will let you also make a persuasion check now, though.
It's the other dice.
Listen.
That was at disadvantage, yeah?
Yep.
I wouldn't be allowed to use enhance ability again, would I?
Probably not, because it's kind of a combination of the things that you are intertwined.
That's
as you're
what I
doing
figured.
this.
That's
Yep.
what I figured.
No, I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Persuasion. 11.
11. Okay. You meet a lot of resistance.
Missed my nat 20.
Like there are a number of people who are very like firstly, why would you want, like, if they're in the court, cool, awesome. If they're stuck in there, kind of sucks to be them. Like there is the one thing that you do pick up is that these fair folk appear to have a very similar mindset to the Fae themselves. Hey, fuck around and find out. If you go in there and do the thing, it's on you, and that's part of the game. And that's part of the excitement and the thrill and the joy of dealing with the Fae. So with that,
Unsympathetic lot.
sorry?
Unsympathetic lot.
Hey, well, I mean, what do you expect from a bunch of Fae-loving cosplayers, right? Apparently that's their fucking canon.
I would have loved to have rolled higher than a 2 and a 7.
Look, hey, all right. Delgrim and B, you guys head off back into the Hymn of Wine to locate Nimbus.
Who Delgrim didn't speak to at all, right? I don't think Delgrim was
Correct. It was Tiernan and B who had the interactions with Nimbus, which I believe is why B was going with you.
Yeah, and you danced with them?
Yeah, and I did a pretty good job, I think. Tiernan did too. He's a really good dancer.
Yeah, I've seen Tiernan dance well. I've also seen Tiernan dance terribly. I don't know why it's such a wide shift between the two, but it exists. And I think heading into this conversation, kind of when we get there in general, Delgrim will also cast Enhance ability, but specifically on B. And we'll just kind of take her by the shoulder or put a hand on her shoulder. I believe you'll be very valuable in this conversation if you feel this dance of yours went well.
That's one of the first nice things you've ever said to me, Delgrim. Thanks.
Well, yes, but I very much also would like this conversation to be as productive as possible.
I'm gonna feel Delgrim's forehead and make sure he's not got a fever.
And yeah, so enhanced ability with Eagle Splendor for advantage on charisma checks, nullifying
The
the disadvantage on those.
Yeah. You guys spend probably close to an hour searching through the hymn for Nimbus before you finally encounter him again. He is, as I said before, a very buff-looking halfling, thick, pearly green hair, bright blue eyes, chiseled chest. And he sees you both wandering over. He sees you, B, and gives you a giant smile. And says, I always like to see returning customers.
I don't know if I bought something aside from my friend. This is Delgrim.
Hello, I'm Delgrim.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Delgrim. My name is Nimbus. I don't have a lot of time at the moment, however. So, how can I be of service today?
Well, I think we have a couple of questions to see if maybe you would know anything about them because, from what I've heard, you know a lot of stuff, far more than either of us, that's for sure. But I would love to ask you the questions, but I think Delgrim is probably the best person to ask them since he knows more. Unless Delgrim, Delgrim's really shy. Delgrim, if you want to tell me the questions, I can ask them for you.
Well, hold on. Before we get to this whole questions and answers situation, payment.
Oh, what's the payment this time?
Ooh. I don't know how much is the information worth to you.
I look at Delgrim.
We truly cannot evaluate the value of the answers until we have them. Such is the nature of our endeavor. We are about to undertake something of a inconvenient quest, you might say. You're familiar with Lesserania?
Oh, absolutely I am.
Okay, well, let's flavor it this way, right? As Delgrim said, we don't know the value of it until we know the information that you're going to provide. So what if you tell us and then we pay you what we think it's worth?
But then if you don't have anything valuable enough, I've given away information at a poor price.
Well, it depends on how you measure value.
I have children to feed. I have a family to look after.
So do I, but that's how, again, it's dependent on how you measure value. Do you measure value based on a gold sum? Do you measure it on an experience?
gold.
Do you measure it on a secret? Do you measure it on another dance? How do you measure value?
What is your question? And then I'll tell you what I want.
Delgrim, what's the question?
Do you remember, Beat? We are looking for any information on the Tower of Skullthorn and the heart of the song that it contains.
Nimbus, do you know anything about the heart of the song and what it contains and the tower? of skull something.
That's skull sword, I think. Yes.
Thank God you're healed, Delgrim. I wouldn't have remembered that.
I have.
See, this is why Delgrim's so valuable.
I am also appreciative of your presence at this time.
Interesting. Interesting. Seems like it might be quite valuable.
Perhaps.
So, my price is going to be, and we're going to jump across to Grumpfel, yeah? So, Grumpfel,
Yes.
you are making your way through to the Tree of Life and Loss.
Yes. How far away from the outside in is it?
Oh, it probably takes you 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes to kind of, after asking for some directions and, winding your way through the busy streets and stuff like that.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. So the Tree of Life and Loss, you see ahead of you a tall tower built around a massive tree that's branches spread forth from the very building itself, as if the tower was actually built around it. And you can see as you approach, on the boughs of the trees, large serpents, black, some white, winding their way through the branches of this tree. There is a large open set of gates leading inside.
I'm gonna go through the gates.
Okay. So the inside of the tower is quite simple. You can see the tree's trunk is actually in a giant pool of water. And around the base of that pool, you can see pews are basically situated so people can sit around the tree itself. You notice on the walls symbols to both Kamateon and Maisha.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a temple of balance, something you are very familiar with. There are a couple of patrons seated on the pews. And you can also see off to one side, tending to, there's some other small sort of like potted plants around the outside of the tower, is a very, very tall woman standing over 6 feet, very, very slender, and she's wearing loose, dark brown robes cinched at the waist with a simple belt of what appears to be vines.
Mm-hmm.
You can see around her neck, there is the holy symbol of Kamateon. And you can see also there appears to be a single acorn in the center of a piece of amber. Her hair is green and cropped close to her head. But even then you can see there's almost like there's leaves and moss in it. And she has dark brown eyes as she is just going about her duty.
Sorry, tall humanoid or else or something else?
Sorry,
Can't
say that
tell.
again?
Like humanoid
Humanoid.
or,
Humanoid.
or something else.
What do you mean by something else?
Like a dryad or a tree creature or
Make an Arcana check.
That's a 20. Plus 1 is 21.
So you would see like her skin is a very light shade of green, and as you get closer, you can see there's almost sort of barkish elements to it. And you've heard stories of the likes of dryads before, and this individual presenting before you definitely appears to be what you would assume would be a dryad.
Okay. Cool. All right. Grumpfel's going to walk up to her.
Yep.
No, go.
She turns as she hears you heading over. And as you get closer, you can see now lines etched in her face. She is obviously older. Age-wise, you would have no idea, but certainly an older individual. And she gives you a warm smile as she obviously notices your own symbol of Kamateon
Yeah.
that is around your neck. And she gives you a deep bow. And she says, "Welcome, Sir Gnome. It's infrequent to see visitors from outside of the city of the Faith of Kamateon here."
Grumpfel sort of nods and then continues it down into a deep bow, and he replies, "Greetings, Sister of the Way. I give you blessings and thanks for your welcome. It is good to walk among my own after so long outside. Yes, this is not my usual path of choice. Kamaton brings me here on the aid of kin that have become kin without being kin. And I have a question for your law master, if there is one here, or law mistress, if there is one here. Might that be yourself?"
She again sort of bows as you introduce herself. She says, I am the only priest for the Tree of Life and Loss. I am Callista Ambertree. It is my pleasure to welcome you to my temple. I can certainly try and help you with any questions that you may have.
Grumpfel says, "Oh, where are my manners? I am Grumpfel Greystone from the from Svazina to the east."
Best.
Hey, oh, west. Sorry, we are east. Keep forgetting that. From the west. Have you knowledge of an ancient following of Kamateon that has aspirations for the physical way of Kamateon as well as the spiritual way of Kamateon? I've and he kind of just pauses, searching for the right way to say it. I have a desire to follow Kamateon, but find myself, as is the balance of Maisha and Kamateon, that there is a need of physical as well as spiritual. And I've heard that there was once a following of Kamateon that embraced the physical.
You can see her ponder for a moment as she seems deep in thought. And she replies, I've heard stories, very, very old, but it has been some time since I've even thought about that. Ancient priesthoods who were dedicated to the martial ways rather than the more divine. This is what you're referencing, Grumpfel?
Indeed.
And
I've just
what's brought you to this path is it has been hundreds of years since I've heard reference to anything of this nature.
I set out from Svazina, having found the path after a life less worthy, but still fulfilling. And in the last, how many months has it been, Hamish? Like 3 at least, 4,
Oh,
3?
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah. In the last 4 months, I've found actions of those around me who have become kin, and actions of those throughout the world, that the training provided in the way of Komateon needs expansion. And whilst on this, I encountered a text that references this martial way that you, as you call it. Now, Grumpfel's deliberately being a little bit coy. He's not exactly just going to break the book out to show, because he's still trying to figure out what the book is all about. But he's trying to see if there's other, he wants to it's not just a cursed book that's leading him up the garden path. He wants to corroborate it with anyone else who may know, before he sort of starts showing it around and potentially risks someone going, I'll have that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She replies, it's often there are ancient texts or be it book or scroll or engraving which has been used to record information of this nature over the decades and centuries. What you're referencing, I have very, very vague memories of an ancient priesthood of mercy or something similar, but if it would honestly be easier if you had these books or these texts at hand to study. It may help jog my memory, but beyond that, this is rare
Right.
information of which I've only
Right.
heard passing rumors of.
Can Grumpfel make a perception or insight against to check how genuine she's being? Not that she'd be disingenuous. But...
Make an insight check.
Oh, and we've gone from a 20 to a 2. So that's a total of 9. So he wouldn't be completely convinced.
There is nothing that you can see that would appear disingenuous about this individual.
Okay. So, sorry, that's like he can't take a read. It's not like he's getting bad vibes.
Yeah, it's okay. Like they appear to be a very curious individual focused on on what you're talking about. But as you stop and ponder about this, we then go back to Miera and Rowan,
mm-hmm.
who have made their way to the store, precious things. And the joys of DMing multiple scenes like this is you should see the sheer number of tabs I've got open right now. Delgrim dies.
Two of them are frozen.
Oh,
you can't tell where the
not
music's coming from.
We love you deeply, though, for the record.
Yeah. So the two of you find a very small shop. It is thick iron-bound door, barred windows, but even through the windows you can see there are shelves with a variety of different sort of all sorts of strange things on there. And as you make your way inside, you can see moving between the shelves, like with a little duster, dusting away, is a largish red dragonborn, very thick built. Rich, fine robes. And they're wearing a little pair of like round glasses, but it's like got multiple lenses on and a couple sticking out the side as well. And you can see as they go up closer, like slide one across, maybe like a little bit of cleaning or something, slide one back. And as you enter, turns. Welcome to Precious Things. What can I help you with today?
Firstly, hi. I really like your glasses. They kind of remind me of my grandma's glasses, but they didn't have as many lenses on them, but they look good.
Oh, it's just adjust them. They like kind of you can see like slides one across, and it's a bit too like intense. Oh gosh. Oh, thank you. Yes. Anyway, what are you after, Jazz? Couple of young halflings coming through my store. Obviously, you're after something important. Are you after a fine artifact? Are you after a lovingly crafted item filled with magical potential? Are you after fine gems or jewelry? He then looks at the two of you and goes, or maybe you're after something slightly cheaper.
Oh, well, that's a little rude to presume, but I am specifically looking for, and Rowan, I don't know if you're looking for anything specific or you're just coming for a browse.
Rowan is looking for something specific, but she'll have a look around in a minute to work out whether the kind of thing she needs is actually here.
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you have any platinum vials, potentially?
Platinum vials? It's quite a unique request. I may have something. Not on display, but I'll go and have a look. And he kind of saunters off behind, like into a little back room. You hear a bunch of like crashing and like boxes moving and crates getting shuffled around and stuff like that. Oh God! And then a few minutes later, he comes back, and he's got, almost like a little wooden cradle that's got a couple of like different like sort of vials set in it. He goes, "Oh, I haven't." And he kind of blows to them, gets a little duster and dusts them off a little bit. He goes, "Oh, I haven't unpacked these in quite some time." Puts them down. These are the selection I have right now. It's I mean, this one's fully platinum. This one's got platinum with some gold inlays in it.
Which one would be platinum inlaid?
Platinum inlaid? I mean, this one
Yes.
down here is probably very fine craftsmanship.
Okay. And they've been sitting around for a while by the looks of things.
I mean, yeah, and he like almost seems a little bit bashful as he puts them down, gets the duster out and some dusters. Well, yes, I mean, these aren't cheap. It's not often we have people coming through asking for this sort of merchandise.
Okay. So I guess how much would you be looking at for one of those?
I mean, they're rather impressive.
Yeah, but they also seem to sit around for a while, so I can't help take some stock off your floor.
Fucking roll your persuasion.
You described it, Ham. That is
I
all
know.
you made a
I
case.
know. This is self-inflicted. God, shit biscuits.
Oh no. The DM got too descriptive. Oh, the consequences.
Yeah,
Did you
just
want
you
me
be
to roll
careful.
persuasion?
Just you be.
I'm fully aware that you can just not give me what I want, so it's fine.
So, did you want me to roll persuasion?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 24.
24. He goes, look, normally it would be about 450 gold pieces, but look, to be fair, it's been in the storage case for the last 5 years. I'll give it to you for 420.
How about 400?
410.
390.
403.
385.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you understand how bartering works.
I'm
young
not sure
lady.
how you understand how I barter.
Look, this is a very strange situation. Let's settle on 400.
400's fine then. Thank you.
Do you need it gift wrapped or?
Is that free?
Sure.
Then yes, please wrap it up. That would be great.
He turns to you. He turns to you, Ra. Just looking somewhat resigned.
While he was at the back, can I have had a look around to see if he sells like spell scroll type things is what she's angling for something specific.
Make a perception check for me.
No. No, I won't be doing that. That'll be a what, 3?
Look, you have a look around, and
I'm too short for the cabinet.
I was going to
so
say, you
it's
feel
fine.
all of the documentation, all of the scroll cases are on the highest shelf,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I don't know what's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I have to go traveling through the weird forest, and I was looking to see if there are any magic scrolls that you have that might mean that I'm not going to be in deep trouble if I have to travel through there. So, but I can't see your scrolls because they're up there, and I'm
Sorry,
down here.
you're planning on going through the forest, as
I
in
have to.
Fair. You're not going to travel on the Twilight Road. You're going to go.
I'm gonna try to stay on the Twilight Road, but if I have to go off the Twilight Road, then I need to make sure that I'm not gonna, make my dad real disappointed because he has to give a speech at my funeral. So,
He says, "Let me see what
just
I've
trying to
got."
protect myself.
And he goes and gets like a little ladder, and he pulls it over and puts it by the shelf, and climbs up it and starts like browsing through bits and pieces. And that is where we're going to break.
Boo!
I am hoping this isn't too disjointed for you guys, but I'm trying to keep it kind of going
Hey,
along.
consequences of
It's
our
good.
actions.
It's
That's
good.
Doing the
absolutely
thing.
fine.
You're
John-
doing good, buddy.
John, I'm conscious that I skipped pretty quick past you, so if there's other stuff that you want to do, like don't hesitate to sit quietly, and please don't ask anything else because I have too many other things going.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to
I was
split
about to send you a
Tiernan.
message too.
Split Tiernan in
I
half.
can feel us going off into regrouping and going off into 7 other directions this session.
Hey, we'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for everybody who's hanging out with us. I hope you're having fun. We'll return soon. And in the meantime, come have a pee.
Yeah.
Immortal Souls. Hey, welcome back. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with us. You're spending your time with us, and time's like the most valuable thing that you have. And so the fact that you're choosing to spend it here is really appreciated. We hope you're having fun. And with that, we're going to swing back around to Delgrim and B. As Nimbus says, a price. I would like a single breath from one of you to take when I choose.
What specifically do you mean by that?
Just that, a single breath.
You know, sure, if that's what this is in value to you, then I will offer a breath.
Outstanding. He offers his hand out to you.
Take it before Delgrim can say anything.
Cool. He takes your hand, and you feel his nails digging into your skin almost uncomfortably, and you take a point of damage as he gives your hands a firm shake. And he lets go, and there's 4 little bloodied marks where his nails has dug in. Excellent! A bargain is made, sealed with blood. B. The next time you make a death saving throw, it is with disadvantage.
You fuck. Excellent. That's fine. Because you have to get me down to make me make death saving throws, so challenge accepted.
Be channeling Delgrim there. Well done.
Yeah, wow. God, there's a lot of people who don't like their characters tonight, isn't there? This is
Yeah.
quite remarkable.
Start calling it Begrim.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
look, Delgrim's just quietly shaking his head at this encounter and not being able to interject quickly enough.
Delgrim doesn't like franchising.
Now, you were asking, and sorry, brain drain. You had asked about both the tower and the lake, is that right?
The tower and the heart of the song specifically.
That's right, the tower and the heart of the song. He gestures to the side at a bunch of like big plush cushions. He says, "Take a seat and I will tell you a tale."
Which, still exhausted, Delgrim will do quickly and gladly.
Absolutely hard same.
He also takes a seat, puts his feet up, hands behind his back, and you can see as he does this, like I said, like he's a buff little dude, and there's just absolutely some like flexing as he does it. He says, "Now the Tower of Skull Thought. It is an ancient structure built upon a small island in the center of the Lake of Lost Names, situated upon hallowed ground and made entirely of cold iron. It is a blemish on the landscape of the Fey lands of Feyfair, built by the nefarious sorcerer Filgarius Skullthord. Inside, it is said, lies the heart of the song, ripped from the very chest of Rolaris Galadriel at the Battle of the Starstruck Oak. There are many, many rumors and tales of what this thing may be or what it does, but no Fae can enter the tower, for its very make repels my kind. The lake itself, situated to the northeast, deep within the forest. Rumors say that if the Fae take your name, if you go and put your face beneath the cold water and whisper a promise, you can get your name back. There is your information.
Do you mind if we ask some follow-up questions? You seem to
Depending on-
know so much, like after all this time that you've lived and explored and like learned all these really cool things, I would love to pick your brain a little more.
It would very much depend on what you ask and if the price increases and what you may be willing to pay. Ask your question and I'll make a decision.
I trust that, after our last dance and the deal we've just made, that you will only present a fair price, because I think to take too much from us would probably throw this a little bit out of balance, and I'm sure you don't want that. But if we were to attempt to travel there, what would be... Sorry, I'm so exhausted. I just need to stretch a little bit. What would be, if we were to travel there, what would be the fastest and potentially safest way to get there?
I can give you that information for free. There is no safe way to get there. You will have to leave the Twilight Road and travel through the forests, unprotected by the Accords and at the absolute free will of the Fae who dwell within the forest.
Okay, well, if that's
Maybe
the
they'll be nice to
case-
you. Maybe they won't.
If that's the case and there's no safe way, then what's the easiest way, or not easiest, but do you have any suggestions for how we can make sure we're respecting the lands that we're traveling through without aggravating or angering anyone that we come across?
Even to Califay with these Califavor, if you will, with these forest fae.
He reaches over and grabs like a wine glass off a platter that is being carried by a small, very ugly-looking Fae creature. Ah. Well, you really aren't from these parts, are you? See, no one else would be silly enough to go into the forest. Even the fair folk who worship us aren't silly enough to go into the forests. But I like you two. So I'm going to give you just a little tip. Make no promises, tell no lies.
Make no promises, tell no lies. That's really easy, actually. Is there anything else that you're willing to part with that might help us without a price?
You have almost robbed me blind already. I have been generous with my information. I have been gracious with my knowledge.
I'm not sure if that's
anything
true,
else-
because if the breath that you ask for is my last, I would say that it's the most valuable thing I can offer. So what's the most valuable thing that you can offer us?
Ooh, make a persuasion roll for me.
I can do that, and I feel like it's a straight roll instead of disadvantage because it's charisma based. Is that correct?
It is. It is a charisma persuasion check, yes. And
Hey,
you've
Fuck
got
is my damage?
Do you have any inspiration points just in
I-
case?
I do, but let me roll it first to figure out whether I need them. I'm gonna use an inspiration point.
Boy, no.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Persuasion, you say. Maths. 21.
Chuckles. Ah,
You see, Nimbus, there's actually nothing I value more than my own life. And if you take that from me, then you've taken everything that I value.
I'll do you a deal. Promise me that it is your last breath that you will give me. And I will give you just a little bit more information.
I think the deal that I'd be willing to make is I'll give you my last breath if you give me every last bit of information that you can offer me.
I will give you the most valuable information I've got in relation to this subject, young lady.
And then I guess we have a deal.
He holds out his hand again.
And she will do so.
He clasps it with both this time.
Mm-hmm.
An accord has been met. The person that can help you the most is the Violet Man.
Do they have
And-
a name that is more recognizable, or is that just what they go by?
Oh, all of the Fae and the Fair Folk know who the Violet Man is. And you will find him at dusk or dawn. He may be able to help you. If anyone can, it will be he. So, B, you get a strange sinking feeling.
Excellent.
The bargain has now changed. When you are up to your final death saving throw,
Mm-hmm.
that is rolled at disadvantage.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm done. I think I want to go and do something a bit more fun, although this has been...
Just one moment, actually. You
No, I'm
bled
sorry,
me
Myth.
dry, but
I'm
you
sorry,
haven't
Myth.
spoken to my friend yet.
Your friend? No, I'm sorry. I am done for deals for the moment.
Okay.
I'm going to go and find something fun to do, and I cannot wait to savor this last breath of yours. It's been a delight.
It's if I
Ta-ta.
ever get there.
He pops up, gives you a little bow, and vanishes into the crowd, leaving the two of you sitting there wondering where to next.
Delgrim will just like very gently just like slap B's arm. What are you doing?
And with that,
Ow.
Of all people.
I do want to quickly check in. What was that?
Sorry, just the.
Literally
what are you
of all
doing?
people.
You have made 2 deals with 2 different Fae.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What are you doing?
Man, by the end of tonight, I might own everyone's soul. Something they're cool with. It's going to be amazing.
Man.
Okay, so
Grumpfel soul already belongs to Town, so no
Swinging
dice.
I
back
got a
around.
patron, like, you know.
swinging back around to Tiernan, sitting dejected at the table as his unfortunate attempts to garner information have fallen flat. Tiernan, is there anything that you're wanting to do at the moment? Because I don't want you sitting there feeling left out, buddy.
No, that's all right. He's going to basically drink in his wallows and order a drink, and we'll proceed to start talking to. Oh, what was the name of the innkeeper?
Grazen.
There was another one though. The one that was it the
Pippi.
barkeep? Pippi.
Yep, Pippi was the young female hobgoblin. Grazen is the one who actually runs this establishment.
All right. Well, Pippi seemed rather friendly,
Mhm.
and Tiernan will be having a drink or two and doing the whole, the stereotypical talk to the barman in this case. Hippie.
Look, Pippi is more than happy to sit and chat, especially as the outsider is a little bit quiet at this point in time. She provides you the beverages that you require. Is there anything that you're trying to like? Is there any kind of thing that you're wanting to sort of talk to her about in particular, or?
Oh, he's going to basically offload a couple of his feelings. He's feeling quite dejected, pretty down, and a bit hard done by. And he will describe, not in huge amount of detail, but just that no one's this town isn't very friendly, and no one's helping him. And he's just had a very bad run-in with the Fae, in particular, one of the courts, and no one's prepared to offer him advice.
She is a very, very sympathetic ear. She sits and listens very intently as you talk about everything that's been going on. She would tell you that it's not that people aren't unfriendly. It's just that there is a particular kind of mindset amongst both the Fae and the Fair folk. And you can see as she talks about the Fair folk that she obviously has a little bit of a fascination with them. They're a little bit misunderstood, and I mean, really, like the Fae are like actually kind of super cool, but also they've just kind of got like a different moral code to other people, and you've just got to be careful with what you say and what you do, and like maybe making deals with them is probably like not a super great idea, and so you've got to be like conscious of what you do and that sort of thing. But if you go into places like the court, which I've never been into, but like I'd love to go in there one day, but it's also kind of like it's a little bit scary, but like also kind of like fascinating. It's like, oh my God.
I don't recommend it.
You've just got to kind of get used to this. And I've grown up around all this, and even I haven't gone into the courts before, although like I'm hoping one day I might get up the courage and do it. Exciting. But it's also a little bit scary, and like you don't go to the Melody of Stars or or the Chant of Frost. Like places like that are just places where there's probably with more risk than the other two. But yeah,
why do people go to those two courts? What is the intent? Because
people are different. People are unique. People are. I mean, I'm different to you, and I'm sure you're different to your friends. I'm sure that in some respects that some people like to feel unhappy. Some people like to wallow in their own misery. So they go to the Melody of the Stars. There's something kind of very sort of soothing in being in a place which enables you to feel the sadness. And sometimes that's also an important thing. Like I mean, I lost my parents when I was little, and I mean, Grazen was nice enough to kind of take me in, and I learned to understand that it's okay to feel sad and to let that happen. It's just you just got to be careful about it. And I mean, like the Chant of Frost, that's a little bit different. That's a more like people go there who are more sort of it's hard to explain. It's like people who want to sort of like cut a deal. Like if you're going in there, it's like it's very kind of cold and emotionless, and and some people really kind of like that kind of thing. They go in there and they hang out, and it's all yeah. I mean, it's not my thing. I'm not. Yeah, that's not kind of who I am. I'm happy and bouncy, and it's why they go to the hymn or some other or the other one. So yeah,
cold and emotionless.
Yeah, like cold and detached, and like it's all about the deal, Yeah, you come in here and you go, boom, I want to do the thing, and some people just really like that.
So, what do you mean by do you mean logical?
I mean, sure, probably logical as well, I guess. It's more, like the the melody is around sadness, and the hymn is around sort of that more sort of hedonistic side of things. And then you've also got the fourth one, which I've just suddenly lost the page that's got all my information on it, so I'm going to quickly go and try and find it. Boop, boop. The Opera of Flowers, like that's a much more sort of joyous and happy environment. And then you've got the Chant of Frost, which is that very kind of cold and detached sort of space.
Okay. Can I get another one of these?
Sure. And she trundles off and provides you with another beverage. As the camera sweeps, scudding through the streets, whizzing past groups of fair folk as they make their way towards the courts, and swoops in close to Precious Things, to where this red dragonborn is up high, digging through a bunch of paperwork, and comes back down with sort of like this bundle of scrolls, and starts sort of puts them on a little table and starts going through them and sort of very meticulously opening them up, checking them and sliding them, closing it up, going through, and he gets to a final one, and he opens it up, and he goes, I didn't actually think I had this.
What is it?
I've forgotten what voice.
That's okay. What
Turned
is
into Cookie
the
Monster.
scroll assistant of the person who was here before? What's the scroll?
This.
I'll give you an out, Ham. You just got to take it.
Oh yeah. I think it's something like this. It is now.
Trying to be very serious here.
Hey. I'm so tired.
What did
So
you find?
this here will provide limited protection. Was against the Fae. I mean, it's something exceptionally rare. This would only last for maybe 5-10 minutes maximum.
Okay.
It's also not going to be cheap. Although, based on your companion here, maybe I've underestimated just how much money you all have.
Some of us are fiscally frugal, yeah.
I absolutely did not understand what you said then.
Some of us are fiscally frugal, yeah.
Right. Okay, excellent. Look, this would set you back about 350 gold pieces.
Oh. That seems like an awful lot for one scroll, and you haven't even told me exactly what it does.
Well, this one scroll.
You said 5 minutes, and I feels like that's paying, 70 gold pieces per minute? That's an awful lot of money per minute.
Ask
Not
how long it's
really.
been in the shop for.
It's not really.
I mean, you'd even forgotten it was there. So they can't be walking out the door now, can they? My friend's right, You seem not to have a whole lot of customers if it took you that long to get it down off the shelf in terms of looking for this kind of thing. Which I think is strange given how close the Fae Fair is. But that's just me.
Just the bombarding of words. You can sort of almost see his eyes cross slightly behind his little glasses. Look, I mean, honestly, we don't actually have many scrolls of any type. The imbuing of items with magic is exceptionally rare, and I'm somewhat surprised I even have this in many respects. But so
I'm surprised you don't have more of them, really. They feel like they'd be doing a roaring trade.
yes, but the challenge is having someone to actually make them, and that it takes.
Do you not have a place that does magical items and rare things? Not have friends with somebody who does help you get those things? Because that seems like a weird. In the town that I'm from, you get lots of people have their little suppliers and the people that they work with really closely, and they have really good long-term relationships with those people. And I would have thought
So
that in
let
an
me just
institution like this, that it'd be the same.
Miss. So look, look. There's some items here, and he points over to a cabinet that's got a bunch of jewelry. For example, the jewelry that we sell here, or the precious stones, we can supply those quite easily from Glint to the south or the Gleaming Mountains. But when it comes to items imbued with magic, that is, I'm not sure where you're from, but certainly here in Tilwith, this is exceptionally rare. Like, these are generally artifacts that are found in ancient ruins. We don't have people who can just create or make these items. So the fact that I've even got this, probably why I've forgotten about it, was even there. Nobody goes anywhere where the Fae would cause you problems. You stay within the lands marked by the Accords. You go anywhere else, that's on you. I'm just saying that it's just not something people do.
I mean, it seems like lots of people go into the Fae courts all the time, and I understand that the Accords are there, but like, there's still got to be things that happen in there that people might want protection against.
The courts are not governed by the Accords.
Even
the
more
people
reason
who
to
go
want
in
something
there,
like this.
the people who go in there go in because they like the thrill. Maybe they don't have the money, maybe they've never thought about this sort of thing, but either way, 350 gold pieces.
I still say that seems like an awful lot for a scroll you've forgotten about.
Make a persuasion check. Bunch of fucking halflings. Do you
Do you want the good news or the bad news, Ham? Oh, hang on. I've got one level of exhaustion. I have to roll this with a -2, right?
With disadvantage.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I rolled the same thing twice. It's fine.
Inspiration.
I don't need it. That's so. Do I deduct 2 off of this because of the 1 level of exhaustion?
No. So the level of exhaustion gives you disadvantage.
25. Sorry, no, 25. 23. 23. I rolled 2 18s. There's literally nothing that the dice. That was the decision the dice made. Not
He
me.
takes his glass.
I'm not trying to rinse you. I'm just saying it's like a weird thing to want like so much money for something you'd forgotten existed. That's all.
It's valuable. I'll give it to you for 330 gold pieces.
How about we make it a square 300? Because that's a nice number, and it mirrors the 400 that my friend paid for her thing.
Who already got 50 gold pieces off hers. If I do 50 off yours, it's 100 gold pieces. I'm out. That's a significant amount of money. I will sell it to you for 320. That's as low as I'm going to go. Obviously, this is valuable for you.
I mean, it's less valuable for you sitting on a shelf than it is to sell it to me, though.
Maybe I just need to market it better. Maybe this has been an
Maybe you need to remember it
informative
exists in your
situation
stock.
for me. I can put an ad on the internet.
What's the internet?
It's this little signpost in the middle of the city which displays things that are for sale.
Yeah, www.faetree.com.au.
I was going to say...
There's a giant spider that hangs from a tree and weaves this giant web which people hang their signs on.
What's it
Is it
say?
very broad? Takes up a lot of the width of the street?
There's a lot of things on there which just don't make sense or are very inappropriate, but so every now and then
I'm sure
people put it-
nobody checks that anything that's written on there is accurate, and therefore if you put it up there, it's really not going to be any help to you anyway.
But look, people go there, people find the information, that's up to them. There's a really nice little cookie stand beside it as well.
Oh, I've got plenty of cookies. We don't need any more of those.
You like cookies? How about 300 gold, and I will give you one of the best cookies you'll ever have in your life. So,
Not wrong, though.
One small cookie is not going to make up for the financial devastation.
They're not small cookies. Are you saying that because we're small people? Because that's not it, right?
wow. I'll have you know, this cookie is the size of my head.
Bantering away at this poor dragonborn. It's like, look,
Yeah.
320 gold pieces. That's it. My price is final.
Didn't seem very final a moment ago. The only the thing is, I could probably do.
She's like, you're watching her counting in her head.
I can probably do like 300, and hang on. I gotta convert some stuff in my brain. For
some reason, I currently have 200 and something silver, and I'm trying to do math. This is literally what is happening right now.
Isn't it 10 silver per gold?
Yes, it is, but I'm double checking that I'm not wrong about everything else. I can do, like, the thing is, I can do 300, like, right now here, cash, but I can't do more than that cash. I'd have to go and, like, down the road, and you know that the merchants are all gonna, like, want their own cut and stuff, and you're gonna end up with less anyway.
Sounds like a you problem.
No, but if I just give you the value, that's not gonna, it's gonna be a you problem in a minute.
What about your friend here? She seems flush with cash.
No, she got you down to 400 for a reason.
It's 320 gold pieces. That's where it stands.
Can I look at it first to know what it is? Because
Sure.
you've described it, but I don't know what it is.
Outstanding. And he passes it over to you to have a look at.
Mm-hmm. It is, I'm assuming, because we had a half a conversation behind the scenes.
It is a scroll of protection against Fae. Yep. So you use an action to read it aloud, and there is an invisible barrier that extends from you to form a 5-foot radius, 10-foot high cylinder. And for 5 minutes, the barrier prevents creatures of the specific type from entering or affecting anything within the cylinder. A creature can attempt to overcome the barrier by using its action.
Charisma 15.
Yep.
Yeah. Maths. Need to convert something. Hang on, one sec.
If only we had someone to make a distraction.
I mean, if only for someone else was in the room who would choose to do so. No, I'm.
What's that behind your shoulder?
Oh my fucking god! You robbed this guy, Jesus!
It's the handle of a battle axe.
Have you met Rowan? No, she's the actually nice one in this party who doesn't rob people.
Yeah.
She doesn't rob people.
Haven't robbed anyone.
Been robbed.
She's gonna turn to Miera and say, "So this would get us like 5 minutes of protection against fear if we need it. It's only 5 minutes and it's only once. Is it worth it? What do you think?"
How many people would it be? All of us?
So my understanding is a 5-foot radius from me, or from where it is, so from me, means that I could get. Would you take it as 1 square around me if we were all standing in a club, Ham?
Yeah,
How many
so
people
5
would you-
minutes.
Yeah. What's the question of what happens on the corners?
So you would because I think at least 2 of you, if not 3, can be in the same space as another person.
Yeah.
Then you could probably fit the entire party in that space. It'd be cozy.
Yeah. We could all be in there, like, if we don't mind being like 2 halflings and a dwarf in a trench coat kind of situation.
I mean, it could be the 5 minutes that makes all the difference, I guess.
Especially given how much people seem to like making deals with the fear. And she looks at you like trying to flash you back to the day before when we saw Delgrim making out with someone in the Fey court.
I haven't had a chance to make a deal yet, but everyone else is having a go.
You haven't had a chance to meet with Larry. You have an intimate relationship with Faye.
I've never made a deal, though.
No, this is true. She's going to turn around and just go, "All right, yeah, no, fine. I mean, kind of like, as a seer, I just want to use it to make sure that no one's going to die or whatever, but..." So she's like trying really hard to just guilt the shopkeep into dropping that last 20 down to 300. It's like, that's the last bastion.
He is, at this stage, he seems to be 100%.
All right.
What if I was to spend more money? Would you drop it down to 300?
Depends on what you're going to buy and how much you're going to spend.
Do you have any diamonds worth 300 gold?
How much gold do you have? Like, I don't know how much I've got, but like...
Look, we funnily enough, yes, we've actually got a fairly significant collection of decent jewels. As I said, those are much easier to import in, and with all the fair folk loving to dress up and look fancy and stuff, often I've got a supply of that kind of thing.
So, if you have one that is worth 300 gold, I will give you 100 gold plus a vial that is magical in nature.
I don't deal in trades.
You like magic stuff? This is
I
going to
don't.
sit on
I'm
your
sorry,
shelves
miss.
for ages.
I'm sorry,
I
miss.
promise.
I'm sorry, miss. I don't deal in trades.
All right, fine. 300 gold it is for the scroll.
300 for the gem, 300 for the scroll.
300 for the scroll. Got it. We'll take the scroll for 300. Thank you, sir.
And the gem as well.
Oh, you're giving us more for 300. That's
No,
very generous.
300. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we said 300 for the scroll. You said it. We'll take you at your word,
No,
sir.
you have to buy the gem as well.
Can I put it on lay-by?
What's lay-by?
Sorry, miss, I don't understand what these words are.
You're the one who talked about the internet.
Don't you mean Fayby?
For those of you playing at home, fucking shopping.
You let us go.
We are only missing.
Hey, Ham, all I'm saying is 300 and this is over. You don't have to deal with it anymore.
This banter is only missing rhymes to be short of Danny Kaye's court jester with the pestle of the vessel
But-
and the pill that is ill and the dragon with the flag and
yeah.
the
Just
brood
waiting
that
for
is true.
Just waiting to have. This is how the next BBEG starts.
So what are you two doing? Are you buying both of these things or not?
I would have taken I would have given you a vial, which you would have really liked, but if that's the case, no, I'll just buy the vial myself, my vial, and the scroll for 300.
No, miss. You buy the scroll for 320, or you buy the scroll for 300 and the diamond for 300. That's the deal.
You
Miera
have
started
enough?
talking, so Rowan's just shut up for a second because Miera was going and just like, what? Rowan's just started counting out 300. Like, she has not gotten to 320, but she's like counting out. And it's obnoxious because it's piles of silver and like.
Yeah, and he's looking at the silver coming out and going, oh my god.
Mhm.
I mean, look, I said I had around 300 and then I got to deal with all this nonsense. You sure?
Yes,
Like,
because I'm a
one-
business.
one-
I've got to make money.
Coppers stacking up in piles.
Okay. I am pretty sure that's all of it. I think.
She's like quick counting.
So is that the whole 320?
Her goal is to make it not, but this depends on what you decide.
Oh, he will 100% count it, like, down to the
Yeah.
nth degree.
Yeah, fine. She's just like, if he counts it and he gets the wrong, she's like, oh, sorry, hang on, and she like starts adding more, but it's again obnoxious amounts of coppers and coins, and you're not quite sure where it's all coming from on this tiny halfling.
If you get to the 320,
Which she will. She's
Oh.
got so much money.
There might be a few buttons in there, but mostly currency.
She can't guarantee that any of it is like a legit currency because she's done so much random trading and from small town just ended up with shrapnel mostly.
Some of them
with-
were foil
with-
wrapped chocolates.
with that, so just very, very quickly, is Miera actually wanting to buy the diamond as well?
Like I do, but I don't have enough. I
Okay.
don't have enough gold.
Right. So with that, the camera pulls out of the shop, and you can almost hear this Dragonborn go,
Hey, you decided to like
yeah, I'm just going to let you guys run off with
They're
everything
worth,
at
like,
fucking
180.
bargain basement prices. So the camera swings back, swooping through the city again, until it stops on this giant tower with the tree coming out of it. It swoops in through the doorway to find Grumpfel standing in front of Callista.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I had to something like, what was I doing with that again? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, I was a
Um,
little bit the same. I was like, wait.
It's like that weird sequence in Sing when the camera flies around the city. Right, that's it. Hamish, for the sake of brevity, Grumpfel is actually going to get the book out and show. I can't even remember her name now. Sorry,
Callista.
Callista.
Yep.
So he's actually gonna well before he takes the book out of his backpack satchel, whatever, he's gonna sort of where it's not like, is there a little tucked away desk type thing out of normal view?
If you're wanting to be private about it, sure. She sort of sees that you're being a little bit sort of awkward about it. And she goes, "Oh, please, Grumpfel, come this way. There's a sort of like a little side alcove."
Yep.
And she takes you off to the side, and you unbundle the book and stuff like that.
Yep. This came to me through adventure with my group, and it warrants more reading and more exploring. But I would like to see how what I've read in the book aligns with any other lore that Kamataon may have. Does the book open or does it stay shut?
Are you trying to open it, or?
I'll put it down closed, but I wanted her to look at it first without me opening it, and maybe if she opened it or if she's waiting for me to open it.
So you put it down, and you hear sort of a very slight sort of, oh, this is marvelous, and she almost sort of reverently sort of touches the cover of it. And
I must warn you, it feels like it knows we're here. It feels like the book chose me when I found it, but I don't know whether I'm imagining such things, which is a little bit of a lie because we've seen what it does, but just trying to ease into finding out what I can.
She takes her hand off it and says, "There's certainly something. Grumpfel, would you mind? I would like to just invoke some magic to see what sort of magical nature this book may or may not have. I feel like I've had a sense that just from what you're saying and just a presence that there is something magical about this. Is this something that you've investigated before, or did you find this?
Look, yeah, the very short story of it, because I'm known to tangent, is it was found in an underground cavern that had not been disturbed for a while, and it for no other wording, it felt like it chose me. Feel free to examine it as long as whatever methods are not intrusive or destructive.
She grasps her holy symbol, and you hear her whisper a quiet prayer to Kamataon. And she looks down at the book. And again, almost sort of reverently places a hand on it. She says, it's definitely very magical in nature, but may I open it? And as she says that, the book opens.
Okay, cool.
And she's like,
Oh, Grumpfel's about to say, don't take this the right way, but you can try.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it didn't want, when Tiernan tried to look, it did not want to deal with him. So
this is truly.
So it opens of its own accord.
Yeah, just opens.
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't touch it. Just goes.
Yeah.
And again, she sort of very sort of almost just sort of runs her finger sort of very gently down the page, almost sort of trailing along the lines of text. She goes, This is a remarkable item.
It is magnificent.
And you don't know anything else beyond.
Only what I've read within. I've not read a lot of it, but what I've read is absolutely intriguing. I must apologize for my coyness. Yes, it speaks of a martial nature of Kamateon, but not in a destructive way. In a way that aligns with the spiritual teachings that I was taught when choosing the path of Kamateon. It feels like it bridges the gap of spiritual and martial in such a way that it allows to help in a greater capacity.
As a fellow follower of Kamateon, I may be able to assist you with understanding what this book means, or maybe where this book has even come from. If you would be willing, that is.
I'm quite happy to spend some time here. However, the party I'm with, we are drawn elsewhere, and I may be leaving the city within the next day or so.
This.
I will try to stay as long as I can, but when we decide we are needing to move on as part of a task we've been issued, I will have to leave.
This
with
may
all
not take long.
Okay. With all due respect, I would very much like the book to accompany me, because I have not finished reading it.
The book will stay with. In fact, if you would bring the book with me, bring yourself and the book. And she leads you back out into the main room, and she says, "Now, if you would please remove your boots so you are barefoot, and if you could just stand in the waters of the tree, holding the book." You do that?
Yeah.
You stand there with the book, and as your feet enter the water, there is sort of a thrum of power that kind of courses through you for a moment, and then just the coolness of the water around your feet. And Callista says, just concentrate for a moment. And she holds her holy symbol. She begins to whisper another prayer to your God. As the cool waters of the pool wash over your feet, you hold the book in your hands. You feel a moment of peace as your surroundings dim. Then, before you see a vision. Small group of robed figures, cowls covering their faces, walking down a dusty road in the middle of open, unknown countryside. They carry little with them, and their bare feet leave little trace of their passing. Leading them is a slightly taller figure. Their robes are deep red in comparison to the plain dark brown of the others. The vision changes. A man sobbing at the side of a bed, holding the hand of a woman who lies there unmoving. Her skin is slick with sweat, and sickening green wheals cover the once healthy flesh. A red-robed figure who kneels beside the bed, cowl up, but you glimpse what appears to be some kind of mask obscuring their face. Then a voice comes from the figure. "I grant you mercy, my child." And they place a hand on her forehead. The woman's chest heaves once, and she lets out a long, slow breath as her life leaves her body. The robed figure leaves their hand on her forehead a moment longer, and you notice a single tear fall from the bottom of the mask. The vision changes again. Flashes this time of 3 robed figures moving through a village. You can see now that all of them wear masks, obscuring their entire faces, each mask of a different design. You watch as they tend to the injured or infirm, helping as they go, refusing any types of payments from the villagers. Behind them trails the red-robed individual, their mask white and featureless. The vision changes again. Now you see a battle. 2 standing back to back in front of some frightened travellers, fighting off hordes of bandits with nothing but their bare hands. They are a blur of motion, dance-like in their movements, as their hands and feet connect with the robbers, strange dark energy burning their flesh, sending them flying backwards. Then another vision. The red-robed figure, sitting in a small room made of stone, writing in a book by the light of a single candle. The quill scratches at the parchment as you recognize the book is the same as the one you are currently holding in your hands. Suddenly, the writing stops. The cowled head of the figure turns slightly, as if hearing something. And then, quicker than a serpent striking, their hand shoots forth and grabs you, Grumpfel. The camera pulls out, goes all the way back up into the sky, and you, for a moment, the entire group gets this sort of vision of Tilwa, of Wildport, sitting on the bay, then zooms back into Delgrim and B, having made their deals. What are you two doing now?
Apparently getting scolded by the guy that was making out with someone the night before.
Cannot believe you agreed to give your last breath to them. What are you thinking?
Well, I think this is really important, and I have to be ready to take my last breath for it to be a thing.
I am not going to judge anyone for making stupid decisions in this
Your
place.
tone is really judgy.
I have a resting judge tone. I cannot do anything about this. Look,
Okay.
I think we reconvene with our friends, and we find this dusk or dawn place to talk with this violent man. If they can tell us more, the only concern I have is whether they tell us anything more without also requiring some kind of deal that mean one of us has to give up our entire torso or not be able to speak except in bird song or some crazy
I
shit
can
like
speak in
this.
birdsong already.
What do you mean you can speak in bird song?
And with that, the camera zooms out, zooms back, into the outside, into Tiernan, as he's sitting beside Pippi, drinking and talking. Tiernan, is there anything that you're wanting to do here?
No, not much. He's resigned to his fate at the moment and has no more ideas.
How many drinks? How many drinks? How many drinks? How many drinks?
6 drinks, Tiernan.
Oh, come
Just
on.
the 2. Ah, okay. He's probably gone through at least 3.
The camera pans across the room, and you see just a collection of individuals as it just very slowly pulls out through the front door, down through the streets, to 2 halflings walking down the road, significantly lighter in pocket now. Rowan and Miera, was there anything in particular you 2 guys wanted to do?
I don't have anything else. I know when we get back, I do want to make sure I let Grumpfel know that I have found a diamond worth 300 gold because I know that he has been looking for them. But I just don't have the 300 gold to pay for it.
Okay.
So maybe we could start a collection.
Okay. Camera pulls back for a moment. Pauses in case there was something Rowan was wanting to say.
No, just like that she's like clutching her rock really firmly as she's walking along in a like, I hope I've done the right thing. It's like one hand on the scroll, one hand on the rock.
Love it. Love
Have
it.
I done the right thing? I hope I've done the right thing kind of mentality.
The camera pans through the busy streets, comes over the top of Delgrim and B again for the briefest of moments to hear B.
Yep. No, that's it. No, I think the last thing, if we're making our way back towards party, that I would turn to Delgrim and ask is, I really need you to do me a favor, if that's okay.
So why not? I seem to be making all of the promises in this place.
Well, this is actually, I'm gonna ask you to promise something. But you don't have to give up anything aside from potentially your friendship, I guess. I mean, you just have to consider me a friend. But could you do me a favor and just not tell anyone about the bargain that I made? I don't think they need any more stress on them, and if all these people know, and you know, we happen to see my family at some point, I'd like them not to know, and I don't want it to be spread around.
In the spirit of this place, I'll do you a deal. I'll not tell
God.
anyone. I'll not tell anyone of the bargain you have made if you can keep a secret for me. If we get this out of the song and return it to this place, I'm going to die.
Then why are we doing it?
This is bigger than me. You must go to the Empire, all of you, to find that which shines, to find these beings that might be able to assist.
Why do you have to die for that to happen?
Oh, this is a deal that was made.
Surely we can work our way out of the deal. No one should have to die.
She very nearly killed me in a single moment. I do not think this is mess I can get my way out of.
Is it like you die and you can never come back? Or is it...
I will die. Yes, this is my understanding of death.
Yeah, but sometimes there are magics that I've read about somewhere, I've never done them, but that can bring you back. Could we not figure that out? And I don't know, we shouldn't, if you're gonna die, we should probably have some sort of a plan to prevent that from happening, or at least have like a contingency.
This is wise words you say, but until something presents itself at this stage, I only assume this is how it will end for me.
I don't think so. I think we'll find a way.
If my death help all of you save the entire world, so be it. This is noble death.
I don't like it though.
Hey, listen, the deal was to keep the secret, not to have entire conversation about it.
Well, you can't just sit here and, well, we're walking. You can't just walk here and tell me that you're gonna die and for me to just say, oh, okay, cool, I'll just keep that secret. Thanks for telling me, Delgrim.
Good deal then. Thank you. I will not tell anyone about the deal you made.
And
Not if I like this deal anymore.
and with that, camera moves away from this pair, flies back to the temple, to Grumpfel standing in the waters of the tree. Grumpfel, the figure pulls you forward abruptly, and you stumble towards the small table. The book, lying open there, can now be easily seen. On one page, now clearly visible, is a picture of yourself standing in the pool under the great tree. Above you, snakes hang down from the boughs like thick vines. On the opposite page, you can see written the following. Grumpfel Greystone stood at the crossroads of fate, my book in his hands. It was fate that led him to finding my words, long lost, but it would be the choice of the old gnome that would guide his steps from here. Heavy is the mantle I offer him, and I could sense the doubt in his heart already. But confidence can breed arrogance, and it was arrogance that brought about my fall. So perhaps the years of wisdom, the willingness to at times question one's own worthiness, that will provide what is required of this role. But this will not be easy, and I am but a shell of what I once was. Can Grumpfel take up the mantle? Will he have the strength to do what must be done in the days ahead? Will his friends understand the burden he has taken upon himself? The way of mercy is a path that leaves few unscarred, but it is a path that only the most brave and self-sacrificing choose to take. And I am no longer able to lead those who follow it. I simply pray to Tiernan and Miera that Grumpfel is strong enough, as they once foolishly thought I was. Or perhaps the way shall fade from memory, like I soon will, and Grumpfel will choose a different path. Will it be better? Only the passing of time will tell. The candle goes out. You are plunged into darkness. The hand that was on you vanishes. Then a voice in your mind says, I am not much longer for this world, Grumpfel Greystone. Soon, you will have to choose. And that is where we are going to stick a pin in it for tonight.
You
Sick.
motherfucker.
Cool.
Ah, fuck it, and Grumpfel just throws the book and goes. "I've
I hate the
Excellent.
ending of this book.
I've always wanted to be a thief.
Well done,
Oh.
gang.
Mm.
It was not
No one
exactly
died.
where I
What a
thought the
time to
night,
be alive.
where the session was going to go.
Sorry, what was that, Heath?
Oh.
Wasn't exactly where I thought the session was going to go tonight, but very cool nonetheless.
The stunned silence.
Yeah, what the fuck?
No comment. There's no comment.
So,
Hamish.
yeah.
Stop psyching us out. I don't like it.
Yeah, same.
Says Hamish off camera before we started live. Oh, I'm feeling very tired. This will be a short, light session.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
With
look,
heavy undertones.
Yeah.
You-
Can
you
I just
guys-
borrow your soul for a minute?
you guys came through. Yeah, look, I mean, you're the ones who are running around going, let's make a deal. So, hey, favorite moments. Where are we at? What are we doing? What are people thinking?
I think everyone's just going to pick a certain someone's song.
No, hard to disagree. I I loved actually towards the end there. I loved the lore droppage around this book, and the cool choice, I guess, that seems to be available to Grumpfel. I thought it was like a fun little thing. I'm keen to see how it resolves.
Just waiting for Hamish to say, yeah, after all of that, he takes 2 more levels of exhaustion.
That and the absolute chaos that was Rowan and Miera shopping was just
Don't let the halflings go shopping. Ham
Oh,
has learned his lesson.
ending.
So,
Or
look,
do let them go shopping because we got the best deals.
let's just say that throughout Wildport now, there are like these messengers scurrying around to all the merchants with like little pictures of you guys to go,
Warning.
Have
Yeah.
you seen these too?
yeah,
Do not allow them to enter your
highway robbers.
Mm.
No discount.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed having my ass absolutely handed to me by Hamish in our cute little private chat that we had that you all couldn't listen to. Yeah, consequences. Hey, this is fun. I'm having fun.
Consequences, schmonsequences.
Look, I honestly give it a couple of days in game time, and someone will blab about the deals, and we'll all know what's happening.
I don't
It's
know.
usually the way of things. Someone always blabs. Just got to get them drunk enough.
Yeah.
Well, Tiernan's already halfway there.
Yeah, I'll take have we not all learned a lesson about making deals with people, or to quote someone who messaged me privately, man, Stockholm syndrome is strong with this group.
It's not untrue.
Ooh.
Yeah. Other moments, other thoughts, other things people want to throw out into the mix?
Hey, Promethean sang a whole song. Like a whole
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I love that I wasn't looking at chat and Lopez just LML covers has just outed themselves by saying that Stockholm syndrome with the party to make more deals with the Fae in chat.
Yeah, at this point, I'm feeling left out. I want a deal.
Yeah.
You were
Look,
trying to deal for a cookie.
Look, I'm sure, Cass, I can organize something.
I also feel like Miera's the most likely party member to come out on top of a deal like that. Like, I feel like Miera would be the one that's like, no, these are the terms.
I do have a
Somehow-
question.
Like, we're just
How
looks like to die because of it then.
How on earth has Miera got 400 gold?
I had 400 and some.
I've
I
been
don't
saving.
know, yeah, I've been saving. Halflings are fiscally conservative.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
drink
fiscal-
all my gold, Tiernan.
Fiscally, I believe the term you used was fiscally frugal,
Fiscally
Fiscally
frugal.
which I think needs to be a line of
Fiscally
merch
frugal.
somehow.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's pretty good.
There we go. That's actually referring back to something from, I reckon, just before Christmas. There we have Rowan's autobiography, Fiscally Frugal, The Internal Machinations of a Confused Warlock.
Wow.
There we
Amazing.
go.
Amazing.
And I think the other book that came out tonight was How to Curry Fae.
How to curry Fae.
That's it,
Yeah,
yes.
how to curry Fae.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently the internet has now been also invented. So
God, yeah, I was like, what?
I have a feeling the internet is ruled by the DM.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a thing that just is spanning further and further into the universe.
cool. Anything else that we want to throw out into the universe before we wrap this bad boy up?
If anyone missed the song, there is a clip version that was in chat. I think I have closed the tab, unfortunately, to put it back there. But there is a clip of it. If you go to the channel, you can hear the first I want to say it's like 3/4 of it because it's more than a minute. So
And I assume
Saz is working on it.
Zoom might have been zooming, so I'll provide Saz with a little something that might be a bit cleaner as well to play with, maybe.
Yeah. Ooh. Exciting.
You heard it here first. Order Delgrim's album.
I do call it a fade.
Pre-order now.
And to answer, John, one of your questions, yes, Delgrim is proficient
Yes.
specifically with a hand drum. So
Yes.
like he's not unmusical entirely, I guess.
I'm just picturing a drum in the Underdark or the Grimwater.
Yeah, and so it's real good for establishing
I feel
distance.
like
I reckon Delgrim could get some sort of music deal. I'm sure there's bargaining power on Spotify.
Spotify, fuck.
On that note,
Good God. Can we raid out and never hear that again?
wow.
Good heckin' golly.
I'm proud of you, but wow.
It's a gift.
Hey, for everyone who has hung out with us tonight, I hope you've enjoyed things. We'll do this again in 2 weeks' time. We'll find out what does all of this actually mean for Grumpfel. What are the bargains that these guys have struck? What's the implications of that? What was Delgrim talking about to be? Who is the violent man? How are they going to get to the tower? Will they get through the forest? And more importantly, is Tiernan going to get drunk and do something dumb?
Where is
Question. I
where's
believe
the-
we have a raid target.
rhetorical
I'm just
question.
double-checking this alive.
where is the pill with the poison? Is it in the flagon with the dragon?
Yeah.
Do we?
Yes. We have a raid target. The raid target is Unhinged Tales, who are TTRPGing it up themselves. So we're going to head over there
Standing.
momentarily.
From
Hey.
one unhinged lot to another. Works for me.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much, everyone who's hung out with us tonight. Have an awesome rest of the weekend. Make sure you go and throw lots of positive stuff at these unhinged dudes. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
you're real pretty. We love you. Bye.